welcome to another episode of ITR Wrestle Talk. I'm your host, Robert Storms, and today we're going to talk about Raw, Impact Wrestling, latest injuries, latest rumors, and of course, your emails. So let's get to Raw. Raw experienced some technical difficulties in the very first 20 minutes of the show where the voice over wasn't matching the dialogue that was going on the screen. R-Truth was talking and the dialogue was delayed. It seemed like a bad Bruce Lee movie from the early 80s. And but they got it fixed. It wasn't that big of a deal. They replayed the important stuff later on before his match with John Cena. Overall, Raw was a mediocre show. Nothing big. I thought the best match of the night was Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston, and I really enjoyed the Karma promo, although I didn't like the idea of her actually talking, but nonetheless, it was a heartfelt promo. I enjoyed it. So I give Raw a 2-star out of 4. It was an average show, decent show. They brought up their next pay-per-view, which is now dubbed Capital Punishment. You either like it or you don't. I'm not too fond of it. But overall, Raw got a 2 out of 4. Over on Impact Wrestling, we see Disco Inferno came out. We've seen Anderson playing the Sting character from the 80s, early 90s. Anderson mocking Sting. And that went on for a little bit. And that was really all you saw of those two in the show, which was weird because the main event of Slammiversary is Sting vs. Anderson, but only the first part of the show was Sting and Anderson. So, and then we see Velvet Sky hit a promo, which of course, I enjoyed that. I liked that. And then we seen RVD versus Kurt Angle, which was a really good match. That was the best match of the night. But again, I think Impact Wrestling probably got maybe 1.5, 2 stars as well. Not that great of a show. I felt going into Slammiversary, they should have built more on the whole Anderson Sting feud instead of them concentrating more on Angle and Jarrett. That's the number one contenders match. I know it's a big feud match, but the title is where it's at. That's where you need to build, and it didn't even seem like they were doing that. As a matter of fact, the Velvet Sky ODB promo seemed more like that was more interesting than this Sting versus Anderson feud. But it is what it is. I give it 1.5, 2 stars. On both shows this week was average. So let's get into the latest rumors.
Oh my god, have you heard?
Apparently CM Punk is still leaving. WWE hasn't been writing him in or advertising him for the upcoming months. As far as I know, CM Punk is still leaving, but it's not official as of yet. That's yet to be seen. Apparently, the major rumor is that China is actually making another porno. I've seen a few websites advertise this, talking about this. It's whatever. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, and it's sad that is the topic of wrestling rumors. It really is. And one of the other big rumors that a lot of people are writing me about is fans getting kicked out of the Impact Zone because they're sending spoilers. They're texting and sending spoilers. And I agree that people shouldn't be sending spoilers, but what happens if, someone texts me from my house saying, hey, something happened to your dog, and I'm texting them back, and they accuse me of sending spoilers, then I get banned from the Impact Zone. Now, Impact has nothing to do with this. TNA Wrestling has nothing to do with this. This is Orlando's Universal Studios. They're the ones doing the whole security thing. So TNA has nothing to do with this. This is all Universal Studios. But, hey, I agree, spoilers need to be cracked down. But, to ban someone for texting, you have to at least have proof. I mean, I see people filming. You're not even supposed to be filming when you're inside there. And they're filming on their cell phones. And they're not even getting cracked down this hard. So, I think that's a little crazy. But that's all I have for the latest rumors this week.
Oh, my legs! Oh, God, I can't feel my legs!
Well, John Morrison was injured for the past few months, but he is being advertised on the poster of Money in the Bank. It shows him jumping off a ladder. So, will John Morrison return to Money in the Bank? You know what? I personally hope so. I haven't read anything on John Morrison coming back anytime soon, but he has been advertised for Money in the Bank, and personally, I would love to see him win Money in the Bank. I think he would make a great champion over on Raw for a little bit. At least give him a test drive and see how he is. Chris Sabin hurt his leg a couple months ago when Alex Shelley actually returned. Chris Sabin got hurt, and now it is official that he tore both his ACL and MCL, and he won't even return till 2012. So that's a bad thing if you're a huge fan of Impact Wrestling, because Motor City Machine Gun is one of their top tag teams and one of the most entertaining groups they have over in Impact Wrestling. And the fact that he's going to be gone for until 2012, that's not good if you're Impact Wrestling. But I hope he gets well soon. I can't wait to see him and Alex Shelley get back in there and do the Motor City gig. So, emails.
You've got mail.
The first question is from Frank Garrett. Would it be cool if Rob Terry, thank you, Ricardo, went to the WWE and teamed up with Triple H and Orton and took on CM Punk and Nexus? Frank, no. It would not be cool. Rob Terry has no future in wrestling. Already TNA is weeding him out. I mean, he's not going to be around that much longer. The dude's a big guy. He was trained by the Dudleys. He can't wrestle. He can't talk. He can't act. He's slow. He's too green. He is not going to have a future, especially in the WWE. He's just not an overall good wrestler. So the fact you even mentioned he's going to team up with Triple H is not even wrestling anymore. Okay, Triple H is booking shit now. He has an office behind the scenes. So, whether this email was a joke or not, ha ha ha, Rob Terry, blah blah blah, I answered your question. Next question is from Justin Gordon. What's your favorite WrestleMania main event? Had to be Stone Cold versus The Rock 1. The first one. I love that pay-per-view main event, and I loved how Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was a great show. The Rock versus Stone Cold, two of the best of all time, competing for the WWF title. Great main event. What is the worst WrestleMania in history? I think the worst one was WrestleMania 2000. When there was a four-way for the title. It was Mick Foley, Rock, Triple H, I think the Big Show. And it started off as just, because what the fuck did the Royal Rumble mean then? Huh? And basically, I think that year it was when Big Show eliminated The Rock, but then they did some kind of thing where The Rock's only 1 foot touched, and then Big Show was bitching, well, I was claimed the winner, and blah, blah, blah. And so they put both those in the title match. And then Mick Foley complained because he got retired by Triple H in the Hell in a Cell match. And Triple H, or Mick Foley complained, I never got to wrestle in the main event of WrestleMania. So Linda McMahon brought him back in for it. And there was a four-way elimination match for the title. It was fucking stupid. There were too many crossover stories for that pay-per-view, especially for that main event. That main event was horrible. I could not stand WrestleMania 2000. People are speculating that TNA will go out of business sooner rather than later. If that happens, will you stand in the rest? If that happens, where will you stand in wrestling? Listen, they've been saying TNA was going out of business for, 8-9 years now? Listen, TNA is not big dog like WWE, okay? Basically, TNA is what WW or WCW was when it first started. They're slow, but they're building up. So, I think as long as Eric Bischoff can do what he did with WCW, and they try not to put over the old-timers so much, I think TNA is okay, at least for a while. I don't see them going out of business anytime soon. So, hopefully I'll be right with that, and hopefully Impact Wrestling will be around for a while. So, I really don't see them going out of business anytime soon, if that's what you're asking. Thanks, Justin Gordon. And, next email is from Heath Joker, R.I.P. And he writes, hey Rob, this is John. Well, anyway, my question is, what is your thoughts about TNA saying wrestling matters? Here implying it means nowhere else. Listen, the whole wrestling matters little catchphrase that TNA Impact Wrestling is doing, and basically stuffing it to the WWE, where WWE doesn't want to be known as a wrestling company. It wants to be a global entertainment company. So basically, TNA is making a joke of that, saying, listen, this is the major wrestling company in the world, and they don't even want to be associated with wrestling. Where Impact's like, you know what? We're Impact Wrestling. That's why they changed the name to Impact Wrestling, because they want people to know that, hey, we are a wrestling company, and we think wrestling matters. We're not going to try to deny what we are, which I think WWE is doing, and I don't agree with. We had a long conversation about that in the podcast, and if you want to hear more in-depth detail on that, go listen to podcast number 5 on the archive list or on the main menu. And the last question is from Antoine Davis. And I'm not going to answer your first question, Antoine, because I don't think it's appropriate for, to say on the screen. But I will answer your second question. What do you think about Knobs' actions joking about Macho Man's death? Listen, when someone dies, you don't joke about stuff. I don't care what the joke is. You just don't make fun of someone who died. Especially a legend like Macho Man. Okay? Knobs, although he may be very known, he's never the Macho Man Randy Savage. He's never going to be as big as Macho Man. I think it's stupid. I think it's pointless. I can't stand Knobs. I can't stand the Nasty Boys. I think they're fucking morons. And I just didn't like it at all. So, that's the answer to your question. Thank you, everybody who wrote in. If you have any emails and you have serious questions you want to ask, write me at intheringwrestling@yahoo.com. That's all I have for the show today, guys. I'll see you next week.